Popular or no, twin studies have had a checkered history. Part of the ill repute stems from the controversy surrounding Sir Cyril Burt, the distinguished British psychologist, who did much to establish the use of twins in studies of the genetics of IQ. After his death in 1971, a detailed examination of his work suggested that some of it was fraudulent. Sir Cyril, some alleged, was not above inventing a few twins from time to time if he needed to bolster sample sizes. The truth of these charges is still debated, but one thing is undeniable. The episode cast a shadow of suspicion over not only twin studies, but all attempts to understand the genetic basis of intelligence. In fact, the combination of the Burt affair and hair-trigger political sensitivity to the topic have in effect stifled research by cutting the flow of grant money. No money, no research. Tom Bouchard at the University of Minnesota, a distinguished scientist, whose massive 1990 survey of twins reared apart redefined twin studies, had such difficulty raising funds that he was forced to go cap in hand to a right-wing organization that supports behavioral genetics to further its own dubious political agenda. Founded in 1937, the Pioneer Fund counts among its early luminaries Harry Laughlin, the chicken geneticist we encountered in Chapter 1, who turned his attentions to humans and entered the vanguard of American scientific racism. The fund's charter was, quote, race betterment with special reference to the people of the United States, end of quote. That legitimate researchers like Bouchard should be faced with a choice between seeking such a tainted sponsor or seeing their work perish represents a staggering indictment of the federal agencies that fund scientific research. Tax dollars are being allocated according to political rather than scientific merit. Bouchard's Minnesota twin study revealed that a host battery of personality traits, as measured using standardized psychological tests, were substantially affected by genes. In fact, more than 50% of the variability observed in a range of characteristics, the tendency to be religious to name one, was typically caused by underlying variation in genes. Bouchard concluded that one's upbringing has surprisingly little effect upon personality. On multiple measures of personality and temperament, occupational and leisure time interests, and social attitudes, MZ twins reared apart are about as similar as MZ twins reared together. In other words, when it comes to measurable components of personality, nature seems to trump nurture. This lack of impact of upbringing on personality development has even Bouchard scratching his head. Upbringing has little effect, and yet the data still show the environment's considerable effect. MZ twins raised apart are as similar to each other as those raised together, but there are, nevertheless, differences, in both cases, between members of a pair. Could there be an aspect of environment distinguishable from upbringing? One suggestion is that variation in prenatal experience, the life of a fetus in utero, may be important. Even small differences at this early developmental stage, when after all the brain is being assembled, may have a significant impact on who we become. Even MZ twins may find themselves in very different uterine settings, courtesy of the natural whims of implantation, the lodging of the embryo in the wall of the uterus, and the development of the placenta. The popular belief that all MZ twins share a single placenta and therefore have similar uterine environments is wrong. 25% of MZ pairs have separate placentas. Studies have shown that such twins differ more from each other than do pairs who have a shared placenta. The elephant in the living room of all twin studies is the genetics of intelligence. How much of our smarts is determined by our genes?
This book is continued on